Hello everyone, welcome back for episode 2 of this FM24 Tottenham Hotspur beta save. Episode 1 saw us start our campaign off with a 3-0 win away at Crystal Palace. We followed this up with a 2-0 win at home to Fulham before hammering Sheffield United 5-0 at home with new man Dybala scoring a hat-trick and making it 4 goals in his first 3 Premier League games. Episode 1 finished with a 1-0 win away at Bristol City in the EFL Cup. However, injuries to Son and Kulusevski had seen a growing injury list get bigger and bigger. You could be forgiven for thinking that I could strengthen the squad before the transfer window closed to compensate for the injuries, but despite the 302 million balance at Tottenham, Daniel Levy had gave me nothing to spend. Brennan Johnson would, however, be joining in the next 2 days, and I had made a bid to bring in Angel Correa on loan until the end of the season from Atletico Madrid, who could play a number of attacking roles. And the Argentinian winger turned down an offer from Aston Villa and joined us until the end of the season with just 10 hours of the transfer window remaining. 35-year-old goalkeeper Fraser Forster went the other way as he left for Roma in a £3.4 million deal. With the summer transfer window all wrapped up, we travelled to Kenilworth Road to face Rob Edwards Luton Town for our next game, where new man Johnson and Correa made their debuts, but it was that man Dybala who got the only goal of the game to seal a 1-0 win. This left us top of the table after 4 games on 12 points, and we were still yet to concede a goal. We were in front of the TV cameras for our next match at home to Sean Dyche's Everton, where Højbjerg smashed in the opening goal in just the 15th minute. Despite the early goal, it stayed a tight game until the 61st minute when Van der Ven headed in to make it 2. It was another great result, but our injury curse continued to haunt us as Yves Bissouma was ruled out for 3 to 5 weeks with a twisted ankle. Our last game of September saw us travel to St James's Park to face Newcastle United in our toughest game so far, and we conceded our first goal of the season as a well-worked corner routine was finished by Isaac at the far post. But we fought back in the second half and equalised in the 65th minute through Maddison. It was a great fight back that saw our unbeaten run stretch to 6 matches, but the Premier League table didn't look great as our North London rivals Arsenal had overtaken us and had gone top of the league. We had to turn our attention away from the league just 3 days later when we travelled to Fulham in the EFL Cup 3rd round. And despite dominating the game throughout, we were hit by Fulham in the 87th minute. But my Spurs side don't give up so easily, and Kulusevski equalised in the 95th. This sent the game to penalties, and when Paulina hit the bar, it was left to that man Kulusevski who scored his penalty to send us to the next round. The draw was made for the EFL Cup 4th round, and we would face Championship side Leeds United at home. It was now time to focus on the league again, and the next 4 fixtures looked very favourable, with games against Forest, Wolves, Bournemouth and Brentford coming up. Forest came and parked the bus, but substitute Richarlison finished to seal a 1-0 win. We were missing midfielder Højbjerg for our trip to Molineux, and in the 5th minute Wolves opened the scoring. Things went from bad to worse in the 12th when the home side doubled their lead. Saw gave us a lifeline just before half-time, and when Wolves wing-back Johnny was sent off for a reckless tackle on Maddison, we scored straight from the free kick with a tidy finish from Kulusevski. Wolves had yet another man sent off for a reckless tackle on Pedro Porro. This gave us a new lease of life, and Richarlison completed the comeback in the 91st minute. We were still unbeaten this season, but so were Arsenal, and it was the old enemy who topped the table after 8 games on goal difference. We knew that we needed 3 points against Bournemouth after Arsenal's win the day before, and a 13th minute goal from Kulusevski settled the nerves. And just 4 minutes later, Dybala made it 2 to seal the win. But just as we were coming up to Halloween, that old injury curse came back to haunt us as Maddison was ruled out for up to 3 weeks with a pulled hamstring. We looked to make it 10 games unbeaten in the league when we travelled to Brentford, but the home side hadn't read the script and took the lead in the 35th minute. They doubled their lead in the 46th to condemn us to our first defeat of the season. We scored after just 19 seconds in our EFL 4th round game against Leeds United as Son opened the scoring to make it 1-0. And on the 26th minute, Yves Bissouma scored a screamer to make it 2. The game looked over as a contest when Richarlison headed in on the stroke of half-time, but seconds later Gnonto headed in to give the Championship side hope. And we seemed determined to throw it away as we let Leeds score again in the second half, but we held on for a 3-2 win and were through to the quarter-final. November looked a tricky month as we faced trips to Brighton and Chelsea with Manchester United at home sandwiched in between, and the EFL quarter-final draw was made and we faced a mouth-watering tie against neighbours Arsenal. Udogie got a surprise goal as he opened the scoring against Brighton before Kulusevski made it 2 in the 59th minute. Danny Welbeck pulled a goal back for Brighton, but we held on to win the game 2-1. We welcomed back James Maddison for the visit of Manchester United, and his through ball found Son, who slotted in to grab a massive 3 points. And after Arsenal succumbed to Manchester City 3-1 at home, we found ourselves back on top of the Premier League table. Our final game of November saw us travel across London to face Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, where Mudryk took the lead for the home side on the stroke of half-time. But we once again showed that fighting mentality, and after great work from Johnson, Kulusevski fired in the equaliser. Injuries to Dybala and Højbjerg left a sour taste in the mouth, but at the end of a tough November we sat top of the table, 4 points clear of Arsenal, although they did have a game in hand. So everyone, that's the end of episode 2. We sit top of the table going into December. It's going to be an exciting title race. I hope you're enjoying the episodes. If you are, subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Hit the like button on the video, and I'll see you next time for episode 3.